guys spawn in, always make sure you click enable RTS. That is super helpful. You pick a team, so it'll be blue team. When you're making your army, this is how you should do it, especially for you new players. So you should be making it exactly as I do. So 3 infantry, 1 elite, 2 artillery, and then the rest line infantry. This is just the easiest, this is just the easiest lineup to use in the game. It really doesn't require that much skill. There's other ways you can set up your army, but this one is just the easiest for new players, which is why I'd recommend it to you. So, before you spawn in, you have your army. It's important you go down to flags, click this flag, and then click this one again. Once it lights up, that's how you know you have it selected. You always want to be running the Byzantine flag because that's our nation and it's also like the coolest flag here, real. All of the other ones are lame except this one. This one's pretty cool because that was our old nation. But anyways, now that you have your flag, you have your army, you're good to go. So you hit deploy. Now these 3 areas are where you can spawn in the map. Pretty sure all of you know what these are. So let's say I spawn middle. Now, once you spawned in your army, I enabled RTS mode, which means I can look anywhere on the map. It's basically like you're playing Total War. Like you don't have to run around on the ground, so it makes it a lot easier. Now, you drag and select over your army and then click somewhere and it automatically forms up. And see how that I selected my artillery in the middle as I was making my army? So every time I form up, my artillery automatically goes middle. And the reason you want it like this is if you have artillery over here, it'll be really easy for enemy cavalry to come snipe it. Now, before we begin marching, I want you guys to do exactly as I do. So you select this unit, this unit, this unit, and this unit. You click Control 1. What you've done now is put this into a control group. And what I mean by this is, if I unselect my units by clicking E, let's say there's an enemy over here, but I don't want to divert all of my army to kill this. Let's say the enemy has sent up 2 infantry, but I'm fighting most of them over here. What I'll do instead is I could just click number 1, send 4 infantry over here, right? And then let's say you're getting cav charged. You always want to have the second control group be these units. That is very important. These units right here are what should be control group 2. So click control 2, and every time you click the number that's assigned to a control group, it automatically selects these units that you've assigned and these units only. So the reason you do this is because if you're about to get charged by cavalry, you're going to make a mini square. And the reason that you make a mini square is because it takes a very long time to make a square. So let's say cavalry is right here and it's charging, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to make a square. Let's see how long it takes for the entire army to make a square.
Meanwhile, you're being shot with artillery.
All right, that took almost 25 seconds to form a square. Whereas let's say I don't have my whole army selected. I send my infantry group to the left. I have these guys over here. Let's line up like this. Now we'll try it again, except this time we'll do it with a mini square with only our control group 2, right? So remember, last time took 25 seconds, right? I click number 2 to quickly select it, and then all I click is this. Went from 25 seconds to like 12 to 15 seconds. That's almost like a 15-second difference. And that's like huge. Now, sometimes you'll kind of notice artillery might stick out of the square a little bit. So let's say the cavalry is charging, they see you square. If your artillery is sticking out of the square, if cavalry around, they might be able to still charge your artillery. So if the cavalry goes around this side, just select your artillery, send them over here, and then click C. And then if they try to go here, select the artillery again, right? Obviously, there's only so much you can do to protect your artillery. You just want to make sure most of it is in the square. So that's how, before the battles even start, every time you respawn, you should make these control groups. So you have the first control group be the 2 infantry on the end, and then the second control group is your main army, which is what you're going to use to mini square. And same thing with this, you can still mini square with just the regular infantry as well. Um, Anyways, now one thing I think a lot know how to do, when you have, let's say you have like your whole army
For
set up,
testing
right?
purposes, by the way.
You're forming up. Who is this?
It's for testing
Oh,
purposes.
it's just you. Yeah, so see, he's charging. Oh, let me square. Boom, perfect square. Well, I don't know where these guys were going, but whatever. You
Anyways.
get the idea. See, all my stuff here was protected. Sirkane's a bum. I'm just cooler than him. He's gonna lose all of his stuff here. No. But anyways, so that's how you can kind of see it in live practice, right? Like he was right here, and I didn't square until he was right here, and I was still able to square in time and kill all this stuff. But anyway, so let's say there's a player right here, right? They're moving up. You never want to have your artillery right here because it can still get shot at. Usually you want to have it like behind your line a little bit, kind of like this. And then you'll have like one of your units artillery baiting a little bit. Um, the the reason you artillery bait here instead of to the end of your line is if you're doing it at the end of the line, all the enemy artillery has to do, like let's say there's an artillery bait right here. If you click Z, I don't want to keep shooting at this. You just click R and rotate so that it's out of your cannon's range. See? So they'll focus on whatever is closest to it. Them here. Um,
Sometimes you want to do it with
but
multiple
yeah,
units.
basically knowing how to angle your cannons, all you have to do is click Z to see their range and then just rotate them wherever you want them to fire. They'll usually fire along this right here. So this unit here is probably what's going to get shot at. Right. Um, yeah,
It,
see what I mean? I shot at that one. So
as you face more cannon
yeah.
fire,
Dane brought no artillery. Oh, he did bring artillery. He's gonna
as you
lose it though.
face more cannon
So
fire, you need to have multiple units artillery baiting, and you need to actively cycle them out as they go low.
exactly. So let's say this unit right here is getting super low. It's like, oh shit, let me cycle it out. You send it back, and then you send a healthy one to take its place. And then you send this one over here to go heal. And then this one's healing while
You
this
are
one's artillery
so
bait.
evil. You are so evil.
Um, but yeah, and this is a great example of what I'm about to go next. Dane was moving up, but he left his artillery completely undefended. There's a way to move up without having to worry about artillery. Show you guys. Oh my god. The camera, bro. What is up with this RTS shit? Anyways, so let's say you select your movie and there's an enemy like right over here and they have cavalry. And you know when you move your artillery, artillery is hella slow and your infantry will eventually leave it behind, right? So let's say you don't want, see, infantry is already starting to leave the artillery behind. Oh no. However, let's say you don't want your artillery to get left behind. What you can do is select your units. You see this button right here for range, or it's like a timer. If you select that, you gotta form up your units real quick. Hold on. But what this does, it makes all of your units go at the same pace, which means your infantry will move at the same speed as your artillery. So this basically means like, let's say you're making an attack on an enemy and they have cavalry nearby. As long as you have this button like selected and all of your troops are moving up at the same time without being left behind, you'll pretty much be fine. And if they do try to cav charge you, all you got to do is just select the units that you have for like the micro or the small, what's it called, square, and you'll be fine. So That's another big thing.
Something's burning up in your house, bro.
Whose fire alarm just went off?
That was mine. Anyways, it's fine though. Another thing a lot of new people do, which we'll show in a second, a lot of you guys move your entire army at the same time, which you really don't need to. Like, let's say I'm fighting someone across this river, and they're formed up right here, and I'm formed up here. This is probably set up, oh my gosh, I would probably set up like this. Like, I'd select these guys, move up here, select this guy up here, this guy here, and have the artillery up to here. And then once I figured out where their artillery, let's say their artillery is shooting over here, I would send my artillery over here. That way their artillery is shooting this way where mine can just focus on them, right? And then I would move up maybe these 3 units over here, let this guy artillery bait, and then let these guys shooting. Another thing I've noticed a lot of people don't do, let's say these 3 units are fighting an army, right? And the army's over here. There's no one over here, so I'll have my cannons be right here since they're not going to get shot at from over here. Let's say these units of yours, all 4 of them are very low. What you can do... Okay, bro. I don't know what's up with the RTS camera. Holy shit. Anyways, what you can do, you can still fight an enemy without actually getting shot at. Because remember, units shoot at whatever's closest to them. So let's say you have these 4 units that are really low. If you angle them like this so that these units are still the ones getting shot at, they can be healing while they're shooting the enemies a lot of times. So it's like one of the big things that people don't do. So always be aware of like positioning, like, can I have these guys attack while not getting shot at? Because if you can, that's like OP. Now this guy has his artillery over there.
You're
All
losing
I'm
your
gonna do is send
cannons.
my artillery to the right, up my infantry, and move up my infantry across this ice thing, because he has no cavalry.
Is there a hostile cav with our flag?
You mean our flag? You're the enemy team, buddy.
Fix that.
So now what I'm gonna do is, yeah, whoever brought howitzers aren't bad, but I would probably,
It's not good for
yeah,
training.
yeah, howitzers are buns. But yeah, see how none of you guys made a square, so Dragon King was able to kill you very easily. And I moved my artillery all the way to the left, that way it's not getting shot by artillery. And there you go. But I would say that's kind of like the basics of the basics for at least infantry. You'll get better the more you play. Like, obviously, like, it's important to like learn stuff, but I won't lie, it's the easiest way to learn is pretty much from playing. Like, this unit is weak, so I'm not gonna move it up. I'm gonna let these guys that are healthy move up. And then I'll set it back here so that it can still shoot the enemy, but it won't get shot at. And the enemy has no artillery, so I'm full advancing without stopping, because I know that they're weak. And I know my cavalry wants to charge this, so I'm just going to charge these guys and force them out of a square. Yeah, see how they're forced to retreat? And if they're going to stay in that square, I can just sit here and shoot them and then just go in and charge. And then I'll turn off my cannons. I stop firing. I click this musket right here, because then if I don't do that, they'll do friendly damage, which is what I don't want to do. Friendly fire can kill troops. And now that the square is broken, I can let my cavalry do the rest.
Well, it's not really
So
broken.
remember, I mean, bro, it's about to be. You're just selling the bag, that's all. And see, this unit's weak, so now I'm sending it back to go heal. These units are still shooting. If I need to send them up, I will. And boom, just like that, enemy killed. Then you just want to make sure your cannons go back onto fire mode. Let's see. How many people do we have here? For an actual battle.
Well, we can have a 4v4 if Master Chief gets on.
Okay. Here, let's do a 4v4 then. I'll reset the what's it called?
The score.
Score.
Yeah,
Can
you'll
you-
still be able
can
to
you
see
do
your
that?
kills, but kills don't really matter right now. It's not about kills. 0. Dragon King, can you make